Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So I've just gone live across on my Facebook page, Marianne Hanson. So it's my personal Facebook page talking about this topic. So if you want to watch the replay, you can head on over there. And I've just been talking about 6 key questions that you should consider asking on the first few dates that you date someone. So some of these questions can be when you go on your first date. For many people, they're not going to ask some of these on the first date, but as you progress, maybe dates 2 to 5, then consider asking these questions. So I'm just going to make it a briefer video. As I've said, I've just done the live stream. That was about 20 minutes where I've gone into depth with these. So the first thing that you can consider asking someone in the first few dates, I'd say, you can even ask this on the first one, is what are your deal breakers? So the important thing with this question is, instead of constantly talking and sharing information about yourself as a person on the date, what that then does is that gives that person lots of clues about you, and then they can just mirror what you've said by saying, you know, you can say, oh, I'm a really loving person, and they can say, oh, I like that in a woman as well, or a man, I'm a loving person too, or, you know, I'm a really good cook, oh, I love that as well, I'm a good cook, I love women that can cook. You're just giving information, and then that person is just mirroring it. So rather than doing that, you can ask the person direct, what are your deal breakers? What are the key things that would be it? You wouldn't be interested in a person. That then helps you to understand, okay, well, that's not me. So if someone says a deal breaker is smoking, or a deal breaker is someone who has pets, straight away, if you've got pets or you're a smoker, then you might think, well, that rules me out. Now, it doesn't mean that it does, but if that's what the person is saying, it gives you the opportunity then to consider, is this a right match for me? Then the second one to ask is, what are your must-haves? So if you say to a person, what are the key things that you must have in a relationship, before you start talking about yourself and what you've got to offer. So lots of people will say to someone, what have you got to offer? What do you bring to the table? And the only reason they ask that is because they want you to then share and talk a lot about yourself, but then they want to kind of use that information. Now, what I'd say instead of doing that is, if you say to someone, what are your must-haves? What do you need in a relationship? It gets you a chance to hear what that person needs, but for you then to consider, well, is that me or is that not me? So it's just another way of really gauging really where the person's at. And also it's getting them to narrow it down. Instead of them giving 20 things that they like in a woman or a man, you know, what are your must-haves? What are the key things? You might even say, what are your 3 must-haves? You know, so it just depends. It depends on how you, if it's an important question to you, also how the date's going as well, because it's not just about like interrogating someone, asking them lots of questions one after the other. You know, you have to still enjoy the person, enjoy the date, not just, everything's not black and white. But I think it's important to consider, what is the reasons I'm asking these questions? What information do I need in the first few dates? The next one is, why did your last relationship end? So some people will want to know, how many people have you slept with? You know, how many times have you been married? What happened with your divorce? All sorts of things. There's different things you have to consider as a person, what information you need to make a decision about this person that you're dating, going on a date with. But also, what's the relevance of the question? How important to me, like how many people someone has slept with, it's not relevant to me. It's not a question I'd ask. If it came up when we were talking and someone said, I don't have much experience dating women, or I didn't start dating till I was in my 20s, or I've been like a virgin, or I've been celibate for how many years and stuff, then we'd have a conversation. But I would never ask the question outright, how many people have you slept with? I've never asked that to any of my partners. But for some people, that's important. So there's not a right or wrong with it, but asking someone, why did your last relationship end, gives you a good clue, an indication of, like, you know, maybe something to do with how they are in relationships. If they said, all my relationships have ended because we always get into arguments, or my last relationship ended because my partner gave me an ultimatum, or it ended because, it's just important. It's important for me to know. It's a key question, but not everyone feels the same. And that's why some of these questions are just ideas. Now, you can also put your own questions maybe in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. So the next one is, are there people who were in your life who you no longer speak to, and why? Now, that might come out maybe not on date number 1, but I'd say that over the first few dates that you have with someone, I think it's an important question, because I just want to know, like, why is this person falling out with someone? And it's just an interesting question. It doesn't mean it's a deal breaker, but say like someone says, I'm not speaking to my mum, you know, someone who's really significant, or I don't speak to my only brother or my only sister, I don't speak to my children. Now that's a big one. If someone doesn't speak to their children, then I probably want to know more. If they don't speak to their mum, I probably want to know a bit more. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to date this person, but it's just important. For me, it's important because it gives me an idea of someone's character, but also how they deal with situations. And could it be a communication thing? Could it be that they're just, every time something goes wrong, or their expectations are not met, do they cross people out of their life? I've got friends like that who are just, literally, that's it. Someone makes a mistake and then it's like, I don't want to speak to that person again. And every time I speak to them, it's like, I'm not speaking to that one, I'm not speaking to that one. And I think, wow, you know, cutting people out of your life. But it's an interesting question. I would ask it with caution, because maybe that person is still sensitive about it, but it is a question I would ask. The next one I would ask, and this is a nice question I think to ask, is what has been your biggest achievement in your life so far? This type of question is different from, you know, the usual, excuse me, what's your favourite colour? Where would you like to go on holiday? How many brothers and sisters do you have? Where would you take me on our first date? You know, I think there's so many magazines and videos and websites that are just rolling out the same types of questions, and I think people are a bit bored of it in a way. But also, it doesn't tell you much about the person. If someone tells you what their favourite colour is, then that doesn't tell you a lot about their character. It just helps you to know what their favourite colour is. So what's your biggest achievement so far in your life? Gets the person to be able to, you know, not boast, but to share something significant about them, to celebrate. And for me, I'd love to hear that. So if I'm on a date, I like hearing what my date has, you know, achieved. I like hearing them, you know, having a chance to talk about, to brag a little bit about some of the things they've done. So I think that's a really nice question. And the final one, not everyone might be comfortable asking questions regarding money, but for me, what are your beliefs or your opinions about money? They can vary between lots of different people. Some people have really strong opinions. Money doesn't mean anything in my life. Money is an illusion. You know, money is evil. To me, it's important for me to understand where that person stands when it comes to money. It's not about saying to someone, I want to see your bank account, you know, or if I date you, are you gonna, you know, be able to support me and blah, blah, blah. To me, it's nothing to do with that. Not for me anyway, because I would never ask someone to, you know, are you going to buy me this, and can you do this for me, and how much money do you earn, or anything that is too personal. All I'm asking for me is, what are your beliefs, or what are your feelings about money, or tell me what your messages you heard about money, because it's important just to get, there's loads of types of questions that are similar to that. You know, what are your beliefs about women, or what are your beliefs about you know, the world, or what, there's different things you can ask. So I think for you as a person, you can identify, what do I need to know about this person in terms of their beliefs or their ideology or their values, because that comes into like compatibility. So I'd say there's 6 things that are really probably be important to ask. Let me know what you guys think. There's probably loads more, and I maybe do a part 2 at some point, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. So leave your comments, share this with other people if you think that they'll find it interesting as well. And thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. Bye.